Good news, everyone. Mr. Page here with another MTG Arena video. Today we're playing with Blue White Superfriends, a really fun, really memey deck, but it's not actually memey. Like this is I think it will be a legit deck in the format going forward. As you can see, I've got it up to the final boss here in a traditional constructed event. Before we play this game, let's take a quick look at the deck here. So, first thing that should jump out at you is just tons of planeswalkers. I think there's 19 planeswalkers in the main deck and 9 different planeswalkers, so you can get pretty ridiculously big planeswalker boards with this. Okay, only 18 planeswalkers. Still, super ridiculous. Also, we're playing some, really fun cards that don't normally see play. Fblthp and Mox Amber, a nice combo to get some mana out. I love playing with treasure maps. They're great, slow card advantage, just dirtily cards that win you the long games against the control decks. So many planeswalkers, we got to defend them with some Wraths. So we got a full set of Cleansing Novas. And one Settle the Wreckage, which people do still play around this, but not all that much. And it's really hard to play around with planeswalkers because you just have planeswalker pressure up and they kind of have to swing. The planeswalkers synergize really well together. Like, if we go through the 3-drop ones, Narset doesn't defend herself, but she's super good against the control decks and the Simic Nexus. Dovin will take care of a creature and make their turn more awkward with his mana attacks. This Dovin can also take care of a creature just by making a chump blocker. Teferi can bounce a creature, and also is just a nightmare for control decks. Saheeli on turn 3 normally would be vulnerable. She does have 5 loyalty, and you don't really need her negative. She's all about just the passive. The -2 is not that important. But with Mox Amber, you can actually play her turn 3, then drop a Mox Amber, and then she gets her own chump blocker. And all of these guys, too, when they're good at defending against one creature, and then you play a second one, you can really just snowball out of control, and then sure, they can drop a bunch of creatures to try to actually start killing your guys, but then you wrath them. Fblthp is also really good, just chump blocking. You play him turn 2, and then your turn 3 planeswalkers in the clear. We got some bigger planeswalkers, Karn, Teferi, of course, and Ugin. Ugin and Karn actually go pretty well together. Ugin makes Karn cheaper. I'm used to using Ugin in decks for his passive is irrelevant, but in this case you can play a free treasure map after you Ugin, or a cheap Karn. Kasmina also really good. She goes good with Dovin's attacks because she has attacks as well. You can lock out their targeted removal. And she also just comes down and makes a 2/2, which again defends herself. So this deck seems super dirtily, but you end up making a lot of creatures, and you just snowball out of control. Once you get 3 planeswalkers out, the amount of advantage you're gaining a turn is ridiculous. Now we're sticking to blue-white because we want to use all the colorless lands that came out that are really good. Blast Zone, a single field of Ruin, Karn's Bastion to proliferate all our planeswalkers. But the big star, Mobilized District. You get enough planeswalkers out, this guy animates for free. Super good. Also, these are uncounterable. Blast Zone turns out to be really good against mono blue tempo. If they do their dreaded turn 1 1-drop, turn 2 Curious Obsession it, you can still Blast Zone that away, even though normally you're stuck behind a wall of counterspells and you just can't do anything. But in this case, you have this kind of escape hatch on turn 4. So this deck's a blast. Interplanar Beacon too lets us get away with all these double color commitments and gains you some incidental life, which gives you legs against mono red. You'd think playing this kind of deck you'd just be destroyed by mono red, but it actually works out pretty good against mono red. Let's take a look at the sideboard here. We've got Baffling End and Prison Realm package that we can bring in against creature decks. And, to make room for that, you actually can cut some of your wraths, because people tend to play around them, especially if you wreck them with it in game 1. So instead, you can just go for the 1-for-1 removals. KO turns out to be really good against mono red. You can just play him later on in the game, and he just gains you 5 life. They have to burn him before they can burn you. And on turn 3, you can play him and make his wall, which blocks really well. And he's still there, giving you hexproof. Also got the 4th Teferi, because he's just really good against control. Extra Kazamat, 1 of Lyra. Spyglass is good against control, and some negates for control. So that's the deck. Let's get to some gameplay. Alright, here we are loading into our final opponent to get the perfect run on this constructed tournament. We've only got 2 lands. The Mox Amber doesn't help us get our first 3-mana planeswalker out, but I think we're going to keep it because we got the treasure map. Under Direction 2, you can go turn 3 planeswalker, then drop your box and still activate your treasure map. I think we're probably up against Esper, which is, I believe, a good matchup for us. Get our Narset out.
Mind and body with thoughtfulness before action.
Won't need the Settle, so we'll take the 2nd Teferi. Get a Mox Amber. Activate our treasure map with. I guess he's not Esper. Certainly not Esper. What? 6th mana? I don't think so.
Keep an open mind.
Just get a Teferi out. Fuck that guy.
If you show remorse, I'll show you.
Is our Narset alive?
Slow down.
Not that she's going to be that relevant against a white-black opponent.
No time for a break.
Probably bounce that with Teferi, I think. And be careful letting it auto-tap your lands with this deck.
Responsibility.
It gets really confused with all of the colorless utility. He's had enough. Okay, so Urza tokens looks like we're up against. He just had a really bad draw. I think we probably want Baffling End. It's hard to tell if he had a bad draw or if he's just like a really high-end Angel deck. I don't have much experience playing against any variety of Urza. I think we'll trim some Teferis. And probably Narsets. Just to get in some more of this spot removal. Not great, because he's likely got Mortify. I think we'll hedge your bets and assume he's playing an aggressive deck. Just had a bad draw, so we'll bring in the Baffling End. One of the maps. And then game 3 we can re-sideboard out the cheap creature removal if we lose and figure out what he's actually up to. Our turn 3 Narset again. Cool thing about her too is like, even if they have creatures, you can just run her out and get your one card out of her. Okay, so he did have a bad draw. He is a more aggressive deck. Baffling End definitely paying off here. Exiles so he doesn't get his afterlife token.
This is a prime day for justice.
Fortunately, he can eat our Narset. Might be hard to get rid of him. I guess that's Ugin's job. But like I said earlier, we'll just catch her
meditate
for the one card.
Prepare.
Settle the Wreckage can deal with him, but fortunately, she does reveal it, so pretty awkward to leave mana up. Looks like we're probably leaving mana up anyways. Unless we just Dovin. Dovin minus can get in this guy's way. Stick his Thopter in the way. If he's got removal though, yeah, we'll send a message. Look, I've got to settle the wreckage. You want to hold your Mox until you actually need the mana, because you can get a token off of Saheeli. Not living up to her full potential, but she still cast an impulse for us and you know, gained us 4 life. So.
I will lend you my strength.
We'll put the ball in his court. He can decide if he wants to let us settle one of these guys away.
Prepare for battle.
Gives it destructible. That won't help against settle. I think if he just sends one, he sends none. Interesting. I think even if he sent one, I would have just picked up the Blast Zone. I think his Blast Zone we can just kill the game. Still can't really do anything relevant. Can't really Cleansing Nova away the Seraph. That's unfortunate. If he takes her Settle, then we do get to Ugin next turn, so... He also gets to -6 his Gideon to kill our Baffling End. 3/3. Kinda want to be careful mosting over stuff because he might not have realized that, and I could see he most over it. So that might have been a tell.
Darkness be gone.
Kind of like real life that way. You take a look at somebody's graveyard like this, and they know that you're doing it because they see all these sparkles. I think we're probably going to want to Blast Zone him away. We're probably just Cleansing Nova this turn, though. Downgrade her into her tokens, and then I can Cleansing Nova the following turn as well.
Gideon Jura, at your service.
Not sure if it was worth doing that just to up his loyalty. Especially when I have a way to kill the first one on the board here. We'll do the note plan. We're leaving him with 6 power creatures. Bit of a mana flood, fortunately.
Share in my light.
Okay, Dovin's a good draw. Unfortunately, he's a 3 mana guy, so he doesn't combo well with the current Blast Zone plan. There's no way to get Mox Amber mana for him and have him live. I could cash the Ugin in. Just kill the that way. Let's do... It loves tapping your land wrong. Let's do Dovin.
Whatever your plans, they're statistically likely to fail.
I was thinking Nova, but maybe... Yeah, I think that's right. Or Mox Amber as a Lotus Petal. Clear those 2 off, and then he gets to make his chump blocker.
Shit. You're doing me a favor.
And then next turn Ugin can come kill Gideon. Even though it's coming at me, I'm still gonna jump. I don't want to go to 1 and die to a 1/1 token at some point in the future. Okay, he takes the trade. That's fine too. Now we get a full strength Ugin hanging around instead. And he knows it, and he's had it. This deck's a lot of fun. And powerful too. There's our 5-win run with it. Grow my collection a little. Hey, another treasure map. I think I only had 3, so there you go. We got some profit and a rare we actually need. Alright, before I leave this video off, let me show you my spreadsheet with the results I've had so far with the deck. Let's add that in here. What do we even call that? Orzhov tokens. That's what we've called it in the past. And that's a win. First time I've played against it with that deck. So here's the data for just the Super Friends deck. Only up to 19 games, so not a ton of data, but we are at a 63% win rate. And you can see, like, I'm crushing... Question marks are just random decks, I don't know what to call. But Grixis mid-range, 100% win rate against them. Esper Control, 67%, that's respectable. Red deck wins too, 2-1. Still, I'm going to play this deck a lot more and fill out the data, because this is a loose amount of data, but the deck's a blast to play anyway. And it definitely feels like it's good in a lot of these matchups. And that's a big part of being a good Magic player, is being able to draw valid conclusions from insignificant amounts of data. Just planning out in your head, were those games close or were you just dominating? And I think this deck is pretty. I will put the deck list down in the description to the video, so you can copy it right in to the client here. You just copy it into your clipboard and hit import, and you'll get the deck too. See how many rares you need, and if it's not too much, I would definitely recommend it. It's both as a powerful deck, but just a blast to play. So, my name's Mr. Page. I hope you've enjoyed this strategy page on the Blue White Superfriends deck. See you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.